Hi, I'm Dr. G. I'm a clinical psychologist with specialty in couples and sex therapy. And my friends at Celebrity Act 2 have asked me to talk about some relationship problems for people over 50. One topic that stands out for me over and over again, especially because of the clients that come to my practice and bring that up, is the notion of infidelity. So let's kind of dig into that a little bit. And generally, there is a common thread. So a question here that a person would have is, I have had a partner, maybe I've been in a relationship, and I just found out about all kinds of episodes, or maybe one, or maybe two, or maybe 20, or whatever, however many number of episodes where my partner has been unfaithful to me. What do I do with that, right? So at times we get these questions when only one partner is more or less aware of this, kind of cheating behavior that's going on without having discussed it with their partner. So it's still a kind of a secret that they haven't really addressed and talked about. So they may contact me about this type of a problem, but at other times they may actually it may not be a secret anymore. In fact, most cases it's not a secret anymore when they come to, let's say, therapy to deal with this and get it out of the relationship, to kind of heal over and after the infidelity. So I would like to focus on that, what to do and how to help a couple to overcome the aftermath of finding out the secret, and especially with a couple that want to make it work. So they somehow discuss it, they have somehow figure it out, which is traumatic by itself. That notion cannot be underestimated and understated. So I would like to emphasize the fact that the whole experience of facing the intensity, the emotionally intense moment that the couple comes to admit and realize that their relationship is broken is devastating. And as such, when they come to therapy and they want to make it work, that by itself is very telling, because what happens is, if despite the intense emotional, chaotic nature of the trauma that they have experienced and have faced together and have come to admit, they are now coming to work on their relationship, that speaks volumes about their quality of their relationship, about the strength of their relationship, about their motivation, about their skill set that they actually bring in working on their relationship, their level and desire and liking and love for each other. And a lot of times this is literally just what is left, is years and years of loving memories, more or less, despite all those injurious and devastating episodes, let's say, that the infidelity has created. So that's good news to start with. If that's not the case, most of the time the therapy is not going to work anyways if people are not invested in making the relationship work, if they don't feel like their partner is fully invested, committed, interested, and cares about each other. But if they do, then this is the key element that I want to bring up here. Repairing a relationship after some affairs is a very delicate process. It takes about, I would say, at least 6 months to a year of therapeutic work, which is also very structured in nature, and it has phases, it has stages, it has very specific tasks that need to be done, during the early stages of the therapy about the affairs, during the mid stages of the therapy, during the later stages of the therapy. So that's why I call it very delicate and structured and sensitive. It is a very, very, kind of a, I would say, complex process. So if you want to really engage in that, if you feel like you would fit in that category, you got to be patient. That's number one. Number two, you got to choose a therapist that has had experience and success with helping couples overcoming affairs and the aftermath of that, and repairing their relationships. And ultimately, I would say, bottom line, I would leave you with this, that affairs in general, in majority of cases, and in long-term relationships, like people who have been with each other more than, I would say, 10, 15, 20 years. In majority of those cases, affairs mostly have happened in order to keep the main relationship intact. It's a paradoxical phenomenon. It's mind-boggling. Most people don't believe this, but that's the case. At least from the empirical research that I work from, that's what we have seen. Affairs have not been really maliciously and viciously planned in order to hurt the main partner. They usually have been kind of created, and at times by chance, at times just kind of subconsciously created, in order to not hurt the main relationship. And there's a distinction. I'm not saying the partner, I'm saying the main relationship. It's very complex. That's why I mentioned this whole thing in this way, because I want to get your attention that there is so many layers to the history of the affairs, the reasons why people have engaged in this, the reasons they have stayed in the relationship for so many years despite the affairs, that it really deserves a much greater attention than just regular therapy that we would do with couples. So, and usually, like I mentioned, it would take a few months to maybe even a couple of years, depending on the length of the relationship, number and intensity of the affairs and the history that may come up, and so forth and so on. But the good news is that most couples who are willing to invest their time and again care about each other enough that they're willing to put that type of energy and effort, despite so many years of perceived setbacks and maybe failures, they make it through the affair management and through the affair therapy. And in fact, they grow much stronger and closer and more intimate and more loving with each other after the therapy. I hope this was useful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me directly. Thank you.